It's up to you, New York, New York.
All right, we are back. Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast, also co-host of Talk of New York. I am your host, Richie, here with my guy, Mr. Idris Salam, a.k.a. Bosco from the Bronx.
If I can make it there, I'll make it. Anywhere, it's up to you to spank that ass with that bell. Go Knicks, baby.
4-game beating, 10 turned into an 11-game winning streak after yesterday's events. The New York Knicks are going to the NBA Finals, guys, and the only reason I am on camera is because I wanted to see everyone see how happy I am. Now that I'm on the road in one of the worst states to drive in all of Florida, I'm telling the camera, let's get to talking. Idris Salam, a lot of things went right for the New York Knicks. A lot of things went right, but in your opinion, what was it in this series? Do you believe it was coming back from 22 in the very early going, game one, that final 12 and a half or so minute stretch? I mean, Cleveland gave some punches in game two. I thought game two, Cleveland did a good job of fighting back. Knicks held them off. But my God, Idris, this ball movement is insane.
Hey, man, I think the Knicks are playing the ball, and this might sound cliche, but I think they're playing the ball that they're capable of. Everyone, and it's all cliche, but it's fact, everyone's playing their role. And the bench, I think we got like 35 from the bench last night, 40 from the bench. Everybody knows their role. No one's trying to because if you notice all through the season, no players act like the star. You know, Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson, they got their goal. You know, they're back and forth. They're homies. Cat is like a little mediator. Mikal Bridges he's the younger one. You know, he's like, this is how they always been. That team is a family. And with the Knicks fan, and we are rabid fans, we are obnoxious, we're loud, but you know what? That's what makes us who we are. And I think that energy, once we came back from that big deficit in game one, like you said, I think that was the turning point. And then when we came back the second game, after being down like 15, I think, or 20, I can't remember what it was, we came back again. I think that broke their will.
Yeah. One thing I've noticed about these Knicks, particularly in the last two rounds, we're really even going back to the closeout game against Atlanta. This Knicks team can go into a bit of a defensive conundrum, give up some poor baskets, possibly, have a couple of bad minutes of basketball, but then turn around and go on like a 16-2 run like it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, it's crazy because even last night we jumped out at the midway through the first quarter. I was like, I think this game. I was like, this game is over, and we jumped out. We had a 29-point lead, and they whittled it down to 19. And I noticed how at one point, right before the half, the Knicks were had that look like, okay, we need to get this shit right. Then we come out in the third quarter and just romp them. Because I seen Brunson. Brunson had that look like, yo, what are we doing? Like we're getting lazy. That's the look he had. We're getting lazy. Even with OG, he had to look like, all right, yo, we're getting lazy. And then
Daniel
what's up, Nuno?
Nunez.
What's up,
Congrats
Nuno?
to you all. Appreciate that, bro.
Yeah.
What I saw yesterday, Idris, and particularly in the third quarter, because Cleveland did have their spurts where they were playing offense and trying to avoid elimination. But after so many hits that the Knicks keep just dulling back to them, it got to a point where I actually felt like the Knicks were kind of toying with them.
It felt like that. It really did.
But I mean, even the transition points, fast break points, outlet passes, the defense, Idris. I mean, when you think that the fourth quarter was a decent chunk of garbage time, and the Knicks still kept Cleveland in today's NBA, offensive friendly league, under 100 points. And your best player, Jalen Brunson, has another quiet game, a good game, but a quiet game offensively by his standards. And, Mike Brown, what I'm seeing here, when he brought the Sacramento Kings back from the doldrums, when he had the Golden State Warriors as a coach underneath Kerr, with the offense free flowing, just always having up to two people open for quality shots, I have no reason to believe that this New York Knicks team can compete with anyone. There is no reason to believe that they cannot.
I'm with you, because see, people forget about Mike Brown. As an assistant coach, guy has 4 rings, dude.
Yes, and, indeed.
He's also a defensive wizard. He's great at offensive mind, but he's a defensive wizard. So he took what Thibodeau had, he expounded on that and made it even insane. Because go ahead, man. Good golly, I'm so hyped. Go ahead, dude.
I just think the thing that really gets my attention about this terrific run.
Yeah.
The thing that gets my attention about this terrific run is that I've never seen in my lifetime with this kind of sustainability where the Knicks were playing both sides of the floor at this level, in elite level. We've seen it in certain spurts. We've seen it in certain measurables in smaller sample sizes. I've been a fan since '92, Idris, and I could say without even batting an eye, and we're talking about some good Knicks teams. We're talking about teams that were going toe-to-toe with the great Michael Jordan, coming up short but giving great series. Pacers, that era of Knicks basketball. I have never in my life seen a Knicks offense this fluid, this consistently, where when you have a bad result, and let's be real, dude, you're talking about 2 1-point losses. The only true embarrassing game of this entire playoffs is game 2 of the first round.
That's it. Hey, let me read these numbers off for people. And I showed these earlier. First round, 1 by 11, 1 by 16, 1 by 29, 1 by 51. Second round, 1 by 39, 1 by 6, 1 by 14, 1 by 30. The East Finals, 1 by 11, 1 by 13, 1 by 16, 1 by 37. We got the highest point differential in NBA history. And it's not even close. And we're talking about the Golden State Warriors being number 2. We got the highest point differential of all time. Insane.
Yeah. And not to mention, tied for second all time with the most consecutive playoff wins on their way to the finals. I mean, they're joining some real serious company. You're joining a Golden State Warriors team. You're joining Magic's Lakers in '89, who ultimately did fall short to the Detroit Pistons, the first of 2 titles. But I mean, this is like elite territory where the Knicks are starting to stand right now. When I think about this kind of dominance over the course of a series, what it truly reminds me of is the run that the Los Angeles Lakers had the year that they only lost 1 playoff game, which was to Allen Iverson's Philadelphia 76ers in game one, the iconic step over of Ty Lue. Yep. But outside of that, Idris, and I'm saying this without even really thinking about it, this is the peak of quality Knicks basketball in my 3+ decades of watching this team.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
It's because like when the playoffs started, we didn't get the number one. We was behind Detroit and the Celtics. We had Cleveland right on our tails. When the playoffs started, I knew we were going to have a battle. I knew Atlanta was going to give us a tough one.
No doubt.
I thought Philly would, and I thought Cleveland. I had us beating Cleveland in 6 games, but I thought they would win maybe 1 or 2. But if you would have told me we will be winning the way we are, playing the way we are playing, I've been nah. I love my Knicks, but we ain't that good. We ain't that good.
No, but I'll tell you the truth. Like, the prognosticators that don't think that the Knicks are capable of pulling this off have predominantly said, oh, it's an off year for the East. These are false aspirations. You guys are about to find out. But this is what I see. We played very well against the San Antonio Spurs during the regular season. The Oklahoma City Thunder, they got the best of us, but we played them good, particularly in Madison Square Garden. I don't really put a lot of stock into previous games that were played earlier in the year, but what I do put stock in is the fact that the Knicks unequivocally have the best legs left in the playoffs, because at minimum, San Antonio and OKC are going to go 6, and I personally think they're going to go 7.
Yeah, that helps us. I mean, it could hurt us because we saw how we came out game 1, but after that, it was the horses got it running. And that stuff how they say in the East is weak. Now, had the Knicks not made it, they would not have said anything like the East is weak. They wouldn't have said that. They didn't say that until we blew past Philly. Because they kept saying Philly's going to give us tough. Philly's going to be tough. And it's not a knock on Philly. But this is what the pundits, the experts say. They're going into Philly. They won't be able to deal with Philly. Okay. Cleveland has a whole lot more. The big and all this other stuff. Okay, we swept both. And they weren't even close. Philly actually gave us the closest game, losing by 6 points. I'm losing by 6 points. So, all that nonsense. I don't even want to hear it. This Knicks team, and I've been following the Knicks stats. They say this team right here is matching that last championship squad. The way we're playing, we're scoring more points though. But the way we're playing, we're gelling from top to bottom. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear nothing Stephen A. Smith said. I want to hear what Brian Windhorst said. The only one I've seen who made sense, who stuck with this team, was Perk. Kendrick Perkins said from the beginning of the season, the Knicks gonna win the title. He said, big body Brunson gonna take the Knicks. Nah, and Kendrick Perkins has maintained. He kept saying, y'all going to stop sleeping on the Knicks. Each time, nah. When he get shout out to Big Perk, because he stuck with us from start to finish. I don't want to hear Stephen A. Smith. I don't hear nobody, because none of them, Matt Barnes, Knucklehead, Skip Bayless, Big Nose, Nick Wright, Chris Broussard, all of them. The only ones that had the Knicks was Monica McNutt and Kendrick Perkins. So I don't want to hear them dudes. I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to hear Stephen A. Smith anyway, and Cameron, because he's a Heat fan and a Knicks fan, so he don't even live in New York, so I don't even want to hear him.
Yeah, that one don't make no sense, and I don't want to hear that Manhattan South stuff, like, because Riley went there. That's a different era. That's too long ago. I'm not hearing that.
Yeah, that's 90s.
But
Miami's our rivals.
This is a culmination of a lot of different things, because I said it on my short yesterday. A big shout out to Leon Rose.
Yes, sir.
Because without Leon Rose, none of this is possible.
Nothing.
Jalen Brunson taking a historical pay cut. He's going to get that back and then some. Yeah. But taking the pay cut in order to bring in different guys. You basically completed the Nova Cats almost with all possible NBA players, guys that were active. And Dante DiVincenzo, even in his departure, still plays a dividend because he was part of what brought Karl Anthony Towns here.
That's right.
And along with, of course, Julius Randle. And I give Julius Randle his praise, too, because he was the first guy that jumped in the water and said, they're building something over here. This is a premium destination to play ball at again, because for a long time, the Knicks were striking out left and right on free agents or getting the next tier, because a lot of people didn't want to deal with James Dolan. But when I look at, to your point, Nick Wright.
Yeah.
Wendy.
At KD, he made a little statement saying, I got to say, too, the cool thing right now is not the Knicks saying why no free agents want to go play in New York. But you know what about that? We've done good with our free agents. We did a damn good job. Sit there and watch us play for the title, KD.
The Brunson point is that him taking less. I mean, you actually have people on the Knicks currently this season that are making more than Jalen Brunson, which is hard to wrap your head. OG Anunoby's one of them.
Yep.
But, I'm not going to lie to you. I thought we were going to lose OG when he was a free agent. We did not.
I did too.
And then I was a little skeptical about, wow, they paid him that. But when Brunson restructured the way he did, and you get Mikal Bridges, who I said it on the show the other day, pretty much since the first 3 games of the playoffs, he has been locked in on a level. That fall-away jumper yesterday?
Oh, my goodness. Time running out.
Time expiring?
Yeah, time running out. Bam. Yes, sir.
And what more can you say about Landry Shamet? He only missed 1 3-pointer in the entire Eastern Conference Finals.
16 of 17. That's crazy. Off the bench.
Deuce McBride playing his part. Mitchell Robinson playing above the rim early. Karl Anthony Towns finishing strong at the rack. It still perplexes me how Cat is not getting these calls.
I know. They was killing him last night, dude.
They've been killing him during the course of these playoffs.
Especially was it the third quarter? That was like, I was like, come on. It's like every time he went
to a level, his peers as well as the referees are getting used to this newfound playing big thing with him, because he's always kind of been like that finesse guy.
Yeah.
So I think that now that he's making more of a violent, fortified effort to get to the line, to get to the rack, to finish strong, to draw fouls, I think that people are still getting used to this style of play from him, and also trying to kind of get rid of what a lot of players do now, the extras to draw the fouls. But I must admit, most of the obvious 3-point plays went Cleveland's way. It really didn't matter. I looked at Donovan Mitchell after game 1.
Yeah.
Talking to the media saying, we're not dead. And we're okay. And there's X amount of games. I'm like, bro, just the way you were looking at the media, you already looked defeated. And, Kendrick Perkins, while I share his sentiments in reference to what James Harden isn't, I don't know how I feel about Donovan Mitchell, because I felt that Donovan Mitchell played a good series.
I do too.
But I also feel that from a schematic level, coaching-wise, there was too much going on that was not featuring Donovan Mitchell that came back to bite them in the series.
Donovan Mitchell should have had a ball most of the time, because James Harden was getting cooked on both sides. He was getting cooked. Jared Allen wasn't doing nothing. Mobley wasn't doing much. I think Mitchell had a good series. He couldn't do it all. He was consistent. I mean, he had his rough patches, but I think all in all, Mitchell did what he could. I think the rest of the team, especially Coach Atkinson, that analytic, we won. And James Harden, with his comment, he said, "I still feel we're the better team." Dude, what?
That's a different kind of ignorant. And now I'll be the first to admit,
about 37 points
going into this series, I picked the Cavaliers to take the Knicks to 7 and lose. In no world did I think the Knicks were going to sweep them going in.
No. I said,
And truthfully, for three quarters in game one, I said, oh, shit,
yeah,
this is going to go 7.
yeah,
So I do think that there is something to breaking a team's will. And I think at least 4 different times in this series, during 4 different games, twice in the closeout, the Knicks truly broke their spirit. The only game where I feel that they didn't break their spirit was game 2. I think that's the best game Cleveland played in this series. But when they fell short yet again, I think they were already a little bit cooked.
They looked like it. They looked like it. And even watching the game last night, there were so many plays. I was like, dang, they look like they're just ready to go home. I was like, they look like
no, I tend to agree, Idris. And the fellas on the mothership made a good point.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it was Kenny the Jet Smith, who made this point. He said, in reference to Atkinson and, praising his team on the season they had. Yeah, they got further than last year. That is true. Last year, they were a 1 seed, got upended by Indy.
Mm-hmm.
Indy won this conference. This year, they get upended by the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
That's an improvement to get to the 3rd round.
Right.
But what the Knicks did is that they gave a blueprint all around the NBA on how to handle the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yep.
And I think from a roster-based standpoint, moving forward, the Cavaliers absolutely have to move on from James Harden and figure out what they're going to do there.
Dude, they're in trouble, dude. I'm going to tell you why. They have the highest active payroll in the NBA.
Yes, indeed.
And
people think that just because Halliburton missed the season this year is why Indy didn't make the playoffs. It's more to that. They lost some key players as well. Yeah. And that's what also happens with these kind of things.
And also with Cleveland, I think Jared Allen is up for a new contract. Yeah, James Harden is up for one, but you got to let him go because he's not the player he wants.
I don't think James Harden. I'm not convinced he's going to be in the league next year. Not that there's not going to be interest. I just don't know if he's done.
Yeah, I don't think he's done. I think he'll be in the league. Somebody will get him, but I don't know what you do with him because he's a defensive liability. He always looked like he's out of shape. He can't play. He's like, you see how he does in the playoffs. He'll have a game or two good, but when you really need him, he's gone. And
it's crazy to me because Julius Randle used to get a lot of hell.
Yeah.
And I never considered Julius Randle a superstar. I considered him a good player that had a superstar caliber season.
Right.
A good player who had a superstar caliber season or two.
Mm-hmm.
But Harden is a guy that so many people have written in that he's going to the Hall and among the top to ever play the game in terms of his positional value. But I'm sorry. When I think about that big 3 from OKC that all disbanded and then Harden and KD linked up in Brooklyn, KD is the only one of those 3 that has the ultimate staying power. And I would be willing to put Russell Westbrook ahead of James Harden as well, because even though his fall was very, very massive, he still had quite the peak.
With Westbrook, I put Westbrook above him. I didn't mean to call him Westbrook. Westbrook above him because his shooting is gone. But he can still defend. He can still dribble. He can still he can do everything. He can still do. The only thing his shot is just gone. He doesn't have that shot anymore. But
no, and that's a big part of being himself.
But I would keep him on the floor because he can defend and he can run the offense. That's what Harden's problem. He can run the offense, but he has to have the ball. But his shot is not like he used to be. He's starting to shoot like Westbrook. But the difference is Harden doesn't play defense. You got to cook him every time. Jalen Brunson cooked him. Like with KD. KD is not the defender.
The last legitimate.
Okay, go ahead.
My bad.
Go ahead.
The last legitimate game that James Harden played of real value was Game 5 when they won on Detroit's home floor. He had a hell of a fourth quarter. But even Shaq kept it in perspective.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm telling you, bro, I am telling you, they got to figure that out.
Yeah, they
And,
do.
we got a game tonight.
Yes, sir. Ooh, another hour too.
OKC, San Antonio. This has been a hell of a series. And it seems like even when someone doles out a bit of a whooping to the other one, it doesn't carry over into the next game. And the way I look at it is exactly the way it reads on paper. This is literally a best of 3 series. But the thing is, the percentage of game 5 winners who go on to win a 7-game series is very favorable. So I'm going to say it. This might be the most important game of the series.
Oh, it definitely is because San Antonio wins, you go back to San Antonio down a game.
That's right.
You have to win. Same with San Antonio. You go home, you're in the confines of your own home, so you feel comfortable. But still, you can be beaten at home because they beat you on your home floor.
I got a theory here.
Yeah.
If OKC wins, there's going to be an enormous amount of pressure on San Antonio to force a game 7.
Mm-hmm.
And if OKC wins tonight, I think OKC is going to finish them in 6. Now, if San Antonio wins, I got the series going 7 because OKC is going to be one of those teams that is so hard to truly kill. Maybe they get them in 7, but either way, for San Antonio to win this series, I think it goes 7. And I think the experience in large part is why I'm leaning that way.
I'm gonna stick to my prediction: San Antonio in 6.
San Antonio in 7, and yes, part of my motivation is because that's the team I want to play, and not because they're easy to beat. They're the second best team in the entire NBA,
and we owe them one anyway. So
yeah, we definitely owe them one. But the reason why I really want to play them is because I personally think that it's just a better matchup.
Yeah, we match up well. We showed that we match up well. But I'm sticking to it. Spurs in 6, Giants win the Super Bowl, Knicks win the championship. It's a great year to be New York. I know it ain't the end of the show, but I just wanted to say that.
Well, I do want to ask you this since you brought it up. Well, I'll get your final on tonight's game. I'm going to switch gears for a second. What's your final tonight?
They got blown. San Antonio got blown out last time. Weston got blown out this last time. I'm going to go San Antonio 1-18. The Floppers 1-14.
Wow, I want them to win tonight. I do. But I got OKC winning tonight. Final of 121. Am I going that high? Am I really going to go that high? Yeah, I am. Final of 121 to 106. I think they're going to open them up in the fourth quarter, and OKC will draw within 1 victory of the NBA Finals. I still think it goes 7. I still think the Spurs find a way in Game 7. Going against the grain of the big Game 5 percentage.
You know why your prediction is wrong? You didn't say overtime. If you'd have said overtime, they would have won.
And then people will really think I'm out of my head. They'll be like, damn, they went on a 15-0 run in overtime?
Yeah, but see, you've been right so far on overtime, so.
I've been pretty. So far, and you know what else I've been right about? Stephen Ridlon. I've been right about the New York Knicks almost every game of these playoffs. Shocker. Man, when you talk about a man that just can't give a little bit of credit to any New York team, that is that dude.
Wait, is he Boston or is he Philly?
Oh, yeah. He's in my comments sometimes, false hope, or he's usually the one dropping a laugh in there.
Well, you know what? We got the best fans, and I'm gonna say that we got the best fans on the planet. We got European soccer fans. That's what New York Knicks fans are. We are European soccer fans. Just we live in America. You know how they love their team.
But this is the funny caveat of people like that.
Yeah.
They'll make fun of Yankee fans if they ever blast in an argument 27 rings.
Yeah.
But how many Boston Celtic fans were alive to see most of theirs?
Shoot,
Bill Russell won 11 of them.
Yeah.
And they did 8 in a row in the 60s.
Right.
So if you're Rids or somebody in that age bracket, because I think me and Rids are about the same age,
Mm-hmm.
you saw Larry Bird when you had like baby teeth, or maybe not all your teeth. You saw the big three and you saw Jason Tatum. Okay, I get it. That's cool. Bro, the Miami Heat have as many rings as the Celtics in my lifetime, in terms of stuff I can actually say I saw and remembered.
Right.
Not in my lifetime, but saw and remembered. It's like anything else. It's like, yeah, the Giants won in 86, but I was young. My first memory of the Giants doing it was 90. Point to be made is that there's so many similarities and hypocrisies with
Yeah.
those who support the Celtics but get on the Yankees for having all these old rings. Oh,
Yeah.
you had old rings. I'm like, fellas, Bill Russell era? Are we really going to go there?
Exactly.
Are we really going to go there?
Exactly.
All right. I'll tell you where we're going to go. We're going to talk about this Jackson Dart thing a little. I did speak about it with Brett yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely wanted your 2 cents on this matter.
Gotcha.
From both sides of it, all sides of it, or whatever side you want to tell me.
Okay. Here we go. I'm going to give you how I felt first, then I'm going to, go in depth. Of course, when I first saw it, I thought it was a joke. I thought it was AI because everything looks AI. But when I found it was true, I didn't like it. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't like it because I felt we're in the situation we're in right now. The country, so much hate and all this other stuff. And this guy, Trump, let's keep it 100. I know a lot of Trumpers gonna be no, so let's keep on. He stirs that stuff up because he said it himself. So
he's of the cloth of a Steinbrenner and a Jerry Jones. He knows how to rile up the crowd, so to speak. Because never forget, he's a celebrity first.
Right. So
he knows how to get a rise. That's for damn sure.
Right. That was my issue. But once I sat down that night and I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? He's young. He wasn't there. He wasn't there to support Trump per se. He was there to support a candidate. And I said, he's from Mississippi. I was just putting things in perspective. And I was like, you know what? I ain't gonna be mad at the kid. And I thought about Abdul Carter. I said, same with him. I said, he spoke out of turn, He shouldn't have done what he did. I said, he's young. He did something immature. I'm like, you know what? Win me a Super Bowl, man. Forget all that shit. Just win me. Just go out there and win for me. Because with them, I think Jackson Dart's a great kid. I really do. And I don't think he has any type of hatred. I think he was just promoting his party. And look, who you vote for is who you vote for. Is how you act when you vote. It's how you act. So I'm gonna say this to the black people, and then I'm gonna talk to the white people. Black people, stop. Okay, Lawrence Taylor's not a great guy either. I like him, but he got a real bad past. He's a Trump supporter, so shut up. And it's not saying because he's a Trump supporter. I'm saying it because I said y'all got an issue because Jackson Dart did what he did, but you praise and you feel the same way, Rich. Y'all praise.
Yeah, I mentioned it on the show.
Yeah,
I mentioned it on the show yesterday, and this isn't about who you vote for, who you don't vote for, because I'm not trying to sway anybody here either way, because I've been very clear of my disappointment in the bigger engine that is Washington.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying. So I don't,
But what I do want to drive here, and then I'm gonna pass it back.
Yeah.
Is it's the selective outrage that I didn't go for.
That's what I'm about to get. Exactly.
Yeah, that was my thing. I'm not.
Yeah.
And I try to bring it back. So on certain giant forums, you got things like, oh, life hits so fast, and even ugly things. Ugly things, wishing injuries, other things. And this is my thing, bro. It's like, are we going to just discount all the good stuff he's done in his very young career about visiting children that are cancer ridden?
Thank you. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, salute, Roland. My bad. I see your message there. I just listened to Richie, but salute to you too, bro.
Yeah, I'm not ignoring you, Roland. I actually just got to the house. That's why my camera wasn't on, because I was navigating the Florida Turnpike.
Yeah, so
and
good.
Nah, do you think?
Oh yeah. I'm I'm not mad. I said I was at first, but I sat down and like, I said, I don't care who you vote for. Just be a good person. I don't give a shit who you vote for. I don't care. Just be a good person. If you want to be a dick because you voted for some, you're an ass. Period. You're a piece of shit. That's all. But if you vote, I don't care if you're Republican. I don't care if you're independent like myself. I don't care if you're Democrat. I don't care what the hell you are. Just be a good person. That's it. Jackson Dart, win us a Super Bowl this year. I'm counting on you. Now it's for the white people. Cut it out, just like I told the black people. Just because y'all need to know, I'm black. I'm dark as hell. I'm dark as hell. Nigga, I'm so dark. I didn't even say that word. I'm so dark. I get under the bed, you cut the lights out, and you won't see my ass. Okay, so I'm black. So anyway, y'all got selective outrage too, because just some years ago, I remember y'all was telling number 7 that he don't belong on the court. He's anti-American, lead sports out of politics. But now you're like, yeah. So shut the hell up too. The same black people we say has selective outrage, y'all got the same damn thing. You can take your asses with them too.
I liken this whole situation with the reactions of both sides of the thing because I'm a fair person.
Yeah.
It's like puppeteering.
It is.
And it is so easy. And listen, I am not diluting some real problems in this country. I want to make that clear.
Right.
But what I'm getting at is that if you're looking for answers from people under the age of 25, I'm sorry, you're looking in all the wrong places. Because the only reason we're talking about this young man is because he happens to be the quarterback of our favorite football team.
Exactly.
Do I care if who The Rock supports? Do I care who Hulk Hogan would support? Rest in peace, Hulk. Would I care who any celebrity promotes? I never cared, bro. I see people that are no longer De Niro fans. I see people on the other side of the spec that'll stop supporting a certain somebody if they're on the right side of it. My thing is like left, right. This is a diverse nation. But it is so like disappointing when people act the status quo so ever so predictable and show how weak-minded they could be.
That's
flipping out over the actions.
I don't care who you vote for. Just don't be
a person that age. When the NFL has harbored serial killers, they have harbored women beaters. They have harbored, all kinds of interesting people on the bad side of criminality. But we're gonna go flip mode because Jackson Dart showed up at this thing.
Hey Richie, there's a woman named Pearl. Oh, I forgot Pearl's last name. She has a podcast. She speaks like on the side of men, but she's a conservative. She talks about liberals and da da da. But you know what? I don't care if she's a conservative, because you know what? I can vibe with her, and I'm independent. I don't like neither side, but I can vibe with her.
Anybody that's completely happy with either side is drinking too tall of a Kool-Aid.
Yes, I mean, so I don't. Jackson Dart, he's young. If anything, like me and you spoke offline, I said, if anything, his people should be like, hey, Jackson, maybe this might not be a good idea.
And it's not even about the affiliation part. It's about the fact that we are not in a good place. And I said this to Brett yesterday. We got to get back to finding out, how do we get to the table and get things done for a better everything?
Exactly.
But if you're losing the ability, even on social media, to be respectful, because that's usually that's like the crock pot, so to speak, of internet disrespect, is go on your social medias.
Man.
And even within the fan base, we've seen this happen with tearing each other apart.
Misery loves company, and that's the thing about it. There are people on both sides who don't want us to be united like that, because I used to be a Democrat. I've been inside of some Republican people. I voted Republican once, not on the national level, on a local level, but there's people on both sides who don't want this unity. The reason being, for the liberal people, is like, oh man, if they hook up with us, then we ain't got nothing to complain about. Something like that. Or on the other side,
it's almost like a perception thing, is that people are afraid
Yeah,
And I understand it's his free time. I understand all of that. But I think to your point, when it's such a hot, like a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Just there's a lot of animosity on both sides. Let's just say that.
it is.
And I think when you got to be a little more aware of all of it. And it's not that it's right or wrong, left or right. It's about just the fact that like this is not a distraction that
Mm,
they need. Who are they? The other 52 guys on that squad. Oh,
right.
and I'm gonna get to Abdul Carter.
Hmm.
Abdul Carter, once again, another young dude. I want
Hmm.
to emphasize the word young. You have an issue with somebody, you address it directly with them, not
Hmm.
for millions to doctor, pull different sides onto it. The team is ripped apart. All kinds of extra sauce that people are putting on this situation. And
Yeah.
Abdul Carter wanted Lawrence Taylor's number 56. So I think it's safe to say
Mhm.
there's a little bit of an idolization there.
Preach.
Lawrence Taylor is a registered sex offender, not on the level of like a Joey Buttafuoco, not on the level of like an R. Kelly. However, and I said it yesterday on the show, it's morally empty what he did. Solicitation of a prostitute.
Yeah.
Do I think he knew she was underage? I wasn't there. I have no clue. And I emphasized this yesterday to Brett. My favorite football player, and I leave it there.
Right.
I don't hate him. Do I think people get better as they get older? In a lot of cases, yes. But having said all that, I don't know. Because unless if I know the man personally, I'm not God. And it's not my job to say what happened on what way with that guy. All I'm saying is, and it's not that I'm trying to be negative on LT. He's an
No,
old man
no,
now, too. It's that the selective outrage part
it
that will
is.
forever
That's what
have
it is.
me banging my head on the wall. I want to get back to Roland's
Yeah.
comment here. Salute, Richie. Glad to be here. Knicks are going to the finals. I'm going to say, Timothy, yeah, actor kid is a Nick bandwagoner. So is his girlfriend
Yeah.
Kylie.
Oh, definitely Kylie. Kylie Jenner, definitely she is.
Yeah. Kylie, most definitely. As far as he goes, listen, man. And it's not that I wish bad times on Nick fans, but if you
Yeah.
haven't been through the last 20 plus years at post
Right.
Ewing trade, it's like I really don't want to hear it.
Mm-mm.
But I get it
Exactly.
though, because at the same time they've only known bad. Sometimes I think it hurts worse when you've seen the Ewing era so close, getting so close,
Yeah.
and then seeing that laughing stock that was up until Leon Rose started fixing things. So yeah, and I know in another comment, let me see if I can find his other comment here. He was talking about Ben Stiller. Here we go. The reason why I'm asking this, the real old school fans, Ben Stiller, Spike Lee, I'm glad. And I want to hit on one of these here. Yes, certifiable. Both of them are diehards. But I was laughing about that Fat Joe story. And then in the headline, super fan. I'm like, bro, Fat Joe is a lot of things. He is not a Knicks super fan. Because if anybody remembers Flo Joe, never liked ball, so to hell with the rucker. I will always remember that line. Fat Joe wasn't no sports fan. I don't want to hear that. And he was also a jinx in the World Series, as far as I'm concerned. Yo, Idris, you still there?
My bad. I put it on mute, forgot.
No,
But I
no,
was
you
saying,
straight, man. I just wanted to make sure you were still there.
yeah, I had put it on mute because I had coughed and I forgot to take it off mute. Yeah, Ben Stiller, like Roland said, Ben Stiller and Spike Lee. That's it. Ben Stiller, Spike Lee, Roland hit it.
And believe it or not another guy who's not exactly morally like preserved,
Mhm.
Woody Allen.
Oh, I forgot
Woody
about
Allen
Woody.
was a frequenter, was a big frequenter in the '90s. Tracy Morgan's a real one.
Yeah, yeah,
I'll put Tracy Morgan in there. Chris
yep.
Rock,
Chris Rock, yep. Uh, uh,
but
Billy Crystal, another one. No, it's Billy
yeah.
Crystal. Yeah, Billy Crystal. Yeah,
Well,
Billy
Billy
Crystal.
Crystal's Billy Crystal has been at the Garden, but he's more known for the Yankees.
Yeah, you're right. Oh yeah,
Even
you're
on
right.
the Spike Lee flip, Spike is responsible for the red Yankee hat. But
Yeah.
the thing is, it's just it brings a lot of people together, which is always going to be a good thing this time. And it's been a long time.
I
But
shouldn't have
just
left
hearing
too.
Joe,
Without small around. No, my bad.
but just hearing Joe like even murder Frederick Weiss's name or some of the other Knicks during that forgettable era, it was funny. It was funny.
For those who wonder what I was getting ready to say, Richie said it's been a long time, and Rakim said it's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without a strong round. And step two, think of how many we showed you slept through. Time's up. Sorry I left you. Thinking of this, you repeating, you ain't missed the rhyme of the microphone soloist. When I sit by the radio, stand on the dial tone, hear it, pump up the volume. Let's go, Rich. I'm back. I'm back.
I want to get back to the Knicks before we get out of here. And then I'm going to get inside the house and I'm going to go see what the Yankees are up to.
Yeah.
A guy who I almost never agree with, and I mean ever, is Colin Cowherd. However, I do agree with what he recently said about Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson, according to the way Colin spun it, is so very comfortable not being like the typical superstar of today. And what does he mean by that? Yeah. You preach the word family when getting into this with who the Knicks are now.
Yeah.
And you see the YouTube videos, they pop up, on how hard Rick was on Jalen, making him into the basketball player that he was destined to be. Some would say it was a sheltered environment, but it was a very driven environment. And I think both cases would be true.
Yeah.
Sheltered in the sense that, like, Rick was making sure that Jalen was going to be a high character man. So when I think about a guy like a Jalen Brunson who has the ability to be like the greatest Knick of all time versus his father who had to break his ass to make the team on any team that he ever made. I think Jalen appreciates the struggle of his father just to give him the opportunity to be that ball player. And without Rick being in the NBA and ultimately finding a second life in the NBA as a coach, there is no, I mean, it's not just because he's half of what creates a human, but there is no Jalen Brunson, the basketball player, if there's no Rick Brunson. And back to Cowherd. Jalen Brunson gets it, according to Colin Cowherd. He doesn't need to be the Ja Morant of the NBA, like that kind of superstar.
Nope.
He doesn't have to be a KD either.
Nope.
Jalen Brunson finds different ways to win on the basketball court, and that is his ultimate value. A night that he's not shooting well, he gets everybody going, 14 dimes. I have only seen few to wear the orange and blue in my lifetime take over fourth quarters the way that this man does.
You know something, man? It's a great story because his father got there, but they didn't win. Now he's on the same team with his father, with a chance for both of them to win their first titles together. And even if Jalen Brunson, a lot of people say no, but Jalen Brunson being the king of New York is bigger than him being the face of the NBA, because everyone knows if you bring a championship to New York, your name is endless. People will never forget you.
No, you have the party / parade, the Canyon of Heroes. This is where people coming back from war had parades. Right. It's a different kind of hit when you win in New York. There is no denying that. There's no question about it.
You win in New York, and see, you got the father and the son coming together. Bam! You win a championship in New York. You at the top.
And if they beat San Antonio, bro, that is completely full circle.
You at the top of the world.
Similar to how they beat Philadelphia, because Philadelphia was Rick's final run as a player, and it was well documented from Mike Breen
Mm-hmm.
that a young Jalen Brunson and a grown Rick Brunson were crying together, father and son,
Mm-hmm.
when Rick had the harsh reality that his career was over, even though, like so many other athletes, they feel like they have a little bit more left.
Mm-hmm. And Mike Breen, he said he's been a New York Knicks fan since 7 years old.
Anytime that Mike Breen, similar to when Marv Albert would do a Knick game,
Yeah, I love Mike.
we still have the American treasure known as Walt Clyde Frazier,
Mm-hmm.
who's pictured next to Pat Ewing. This is great. This is phenomenal. And you look at the joy in Ewing's face. Not only is he living vicariously through this Knicks team, but he's so very proud, on almost like a proud uncle tip, because never forget, guys like Ewing, guys like Marcus Camby, Allen Houston, they were holding Jalen Brunson as a kid, as a toddler.
That's why if Knicks win, they know this championship is for all those Knicks teams, all those greats, Ewing, Houston, Starks. They know this is for all of them. They know when the players get up there and get the awards, they know they can come up there. Because they know
there was something so very special about Patrick Ewing handing the Bob Cousy Award to Jalen Brunson along with Walt Clyde Frazier. And the thing I love about those two men is that if somebody says to Patrick that he's the greatest Knick, he'll pass it to Clyde.
Yeah.
And then Clyde will be like, hey, we did our winning, but number 33 is the best.
Right.
But the fact that both of them are going to anoint Jalen as the GOAT of Knicks basketball if they get this one, or if they get one.
Yeah.
Not even talking about two. It just speaks volumes about that. One thing this organization does well is they preserve their sports heroes.
Hey, yo, but you know what you're seeing right there? 3 generations of Knicks. That's what you're seeing. 3 generations of Knicks. That's an iconic photo, bro.
And I have absolutely nothing against Carmelo Anthony. I want to make that clear.
Right.
And I understand that it was a different era than these 3 eras that we're looking at in this picture. No knock on you, Carmelo. You were one of my favorites all the way back to college. But I am so sick and tired of people trying to put Carmelo Anthony on the Knicks Mount Rushmore. These 3 belong. Brunson is steady jumping into that Mount Rushmore conversation.
Yeah.
But
Melo's not
if we're no, I'm sorry. You take another guy from the 70s. How the hell can you forget about Willis Reed?
That's what I was gonna say, Willis Reed.
And if you forgot about Willis Reed, Earl of Pearl Monroe, Dave DeBusschere.
Right. Dave DeBusschere.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that team alone, before Melo. And you can go later than that. I'm going Allen Houston. I'm going John Starks, possibly. But John Starks for sure.
Well, John Starks embodied kind of like the attitude of the city during that era, as did Anthony Mason. Anthony Mason was a New York native, Springfield Gardens High School.
Exactly. Yeah.
Charles Oakley, even though, Virginia Union is where Oak came from. Oak's like the missing guy that's not here, but I am not defending James Dolan. I want to make that clear. James Dolan is an ass. But Charles Oakley did himself no favors either by the way that he has spoken ill of Patrick Ewing. And I take big exception to that, because a lot of old school Knick fans, I'm not saying they're right or wrong, but it is a theory, or at least an opinion, that Oak did take it a little easy on 23, who was his buddy going back from the beginning of the Chicago days.
Right.
Oakley was famously traded for Bill Cartwright.
Right.
To form the Ewing and Oakley tandem. And, Charles Oakley, with all due respect, you love to talk about Patrick Ewing not being able to get over the big hump. But my frustration with all of that is, were you another superstar? Were you the Scottie Pippen to Jordan? No, you were not. Ewing never had that, and he could have had that if Bernard King didn't have those terrible injuries.
Those knees, exactly.
And that's my frustration. But there's 2 sides of it. There's 2 sides. If there's one thing I'm going to knock on Patrick Ewing, Patrick was never going to take a cent less.
No.
And in that regard, it's a good and a bad thing. It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Because you get guys that were like long shots, like Mason, like Starks. Starks played in the CBA, bro.
Right.
People
Sure
forget
did.
that.
Right.
You know, a lot of those Knicks guys that overachieved and made the roster, they had some long roads to get there.
Yeah.
But having said that, if Patrick Ewing occasionally would have been down to maybe take a little less, the team that he had in the latter part of the 90s, he might have had a little earlier when he was still that dude.
Yeah.
But, I'm not going to hate anybody for getting their bread. But what Jalen Brunson has done from an unselfish level and putting them in a position to completely fill out this roster of not necessarily the most talented players at every position, but the most exemplary guys of what team means.
That's
You
what
look
it
at
is.
a Josh Hart. Josh Hart reminds a lot of people of John Starks and Anthony Mason in different ways.
Yeah.
You look at Mitch. Big Mitch reminds people of Knicks of yesteryear.
Mm-hmm. Herb Williams.
There are guys.
Herb Williams. Yeah.
There are guys on this team that remind people of the pride that they had in the 90s. Because while I think that revisionist history is a tough game to play, what I will be willing to say is if the Knicks don't play in the Michael Jordan era, like the way it overlapped, does Patrick Ewing at least have one ring? Possibly.
I'm saying
I mean,
two.
Jordan wasn't in the league in '94, and I have to put that on Pat Riley.
Yeah.
Not putting in Ro Blackman, and there's a story behind that too.
Yeah.
Ro Blackman offended Pat Riley.
Yeah.
And Pat Riley took it personal. And there was a lot of ego as he was watching John Starks die in front of him 2 for 18.
Yeah.
Derek Harper probably would have been the MVP of that series. But for the people who think that Patrick Ewing got waxed by Hakeem Olajuwon, they need to rewatch the tape. Patrick Ewing had a phenomenal defensive series where he set a record for most blocks in the NBA Finals.
Yeah, people don't want to miss that. No, I'm with you, bro. That's why with this team, with Brunson, definitely he's up there. He's there with the Kings. Like he's up there with Clyde and Ewing. He's there. His face is there.
And Bernard King is the big what if.
Yeah,
a lot of organizations have a big what if.
But I'm still putting.
Even in He Got Game, Monroe could be looked at as a what if when Denzel was explaining to his son in the movie Jesus, obviously Ray Allen.
Yeah.
That when Monroe played in Washington, they kind of let him play free, whereas in New York, it was a little bit of a different structure. There's a lot of, we got the Yankees, of course we do. And even with the Giants being on the other side of the tracks, they have roots in New York or the Yankee Stadium days. You got the other team that plays on the ice in the Mecca. But one thing about New York will always be a hoop town.
Yeah.
And you were in the building as a young guy. You're talking Julius Erving, getting to see that iconic experience at Rucker Park. That's crazy, bro.
That's insane. When that guy sent me that picture, I lost my mind. I said, I wish my mama was alive. I was like, look, somebody took a picture and I'm in the picture.
That needs to get sent my way because I want to make a duplicate of that for the podcast room because that's NBA history.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. Expand it.
And I think I told you this story, but my old man, here we go. We're talking on the phone now.
I know. Hey, that's when we get our views, dude.
My old man has a second gig because my old man was always hustling and doing extra stuff despite having his city job.
Yeah.
He used to be a personal driver for a brief time for Julius Erving's brother. And my old man used to pick him up in Hempstead.
Yep. He played for the Nets. Yeah. Yeah, man. So I love this team. We've already overachieved. We got to I say we overachieved because of what we did. Because people said we were going to probably get to the finals. Some said yes, some said no. But we were at least a contender. But how we got here, I believe we overachieved. And I'm happy
It's interesting because I accused them of underachieving during the regular season. Sorry to stop your point.
No, because we did underachieve during the regular season. We did. We should have been better. We should have won a division. Thing. We should
I
have won it.
thought this particular Knicks team, they were a shoe-in to win 60 games.
Yeah.
When you considered that Halliburton was done for this year, and a lot of people didn't know if Tatum was going to play.
Yeah.
And kind of like in that regard, the clear path. But I will say this on the contrast, and part of the reason why it took a little longer is because Mike Brown, if we back it up 4 months, there were a lot of growing pains with this roster.
Yeah.
Where Karl Anthony Towns at times wasn't the happiest, or Josh Hart wasn't really sure how to identify his role. And when you believe in what you're preaching and what you're teaching, you have to break them before you could make them. Because he had to get everything that was Tom Thibodeau off of this team. And that's not an indictment of Tom Thibodeau. Tom Thibodeau was a good coach. And I thanked him yesterday for getting this started because his contributions are appreciated, as are Dante DiVincenzo's, as are Julius Randle. But the reality is, Tom Thibodeau, and I think you said it on the show, they would not beat Atlanta if he was the coach, because there would have been no adjustments made, and there's no way that you would have been able to see how beautiful this bench is with the likes of expanded minutes for guys like Jose Alvarado, Deuce McBride, and occasionally you even see who Jordan Clarkson is, because make no mistake, Jordan Clarkson could be a starter on certain teams in this league.
He's a hell of a defender, man.
He certainly is. What's up, Noah?
Yeah, I feel you know I'm happy for Mike Brown too also. Remember, he coached Cleveland, he got them to the finals in 2007. He came back, they fired him. He's from Columbus, Ohio. So now he's coaching the Knicks. He goes to Cleveland, goes 4-0 in Cleveland, and going back to the NBA Finals. And I love it. As for LeBron, could be saying, I've heard talk like, yeah, LeBron might go back to Cleveland. Yeah, whatever. He can go back to Cleveland. They got to
hang on 1 second, Idris. I was going to ask Noah a quick question.
No, go ahead. I'll just keep talking to the people.
Papito, did the dog go out yet? Oh, easy. You're going to fall over the turf monster. I'm going to grip the dog, okay? Idris, keep going.
Yeah. It's insane. I think I kind of lost my chain of thought. I was listening to
I'm sorry. That's my fault.
You good. No, you good. You're good. Yeah, what I was saying is, he about LeBron, I said, there's been talk about LeBron returning to Cleveland. If he does, that's cool. I think he should end his career in Cleveland. But they have this big payroll they have to worry about in bringing LeBron in. And still, even with LeBron coming, with his game, you got Donovan Mitchell. Like I said, they probably won't bring James Harden back. But where do you put him? Because you got Jarrett Allen, you got Mobley.
They would definitely. He could make sense on the bench. Idris, I even suggested that for the Knicks. Not that I want it, just because I have to keep options open.
Yeah, but he won't.
We do a show. I don't want. I don't want him. I don't want him in the garden. You already know that. I wanted him like I don't know.
You know what?
Years ago.
Yeah, and like wait, I didn't even want him then. But you know what? And with Stephen A. Smith, you know what? I don't care if he's a Knicks fan. He reminds me of Cameron, because this is what he said on the show yesterday, I think. Because I don't even watch the First Take, but I watched it. No, it was this morning. Because I watched it because of the Knicks. I just like watching our highlights. But he said this, and I think it was a stupid take. He said that those draft picks we gave up for Mikal Bridges don't mean nothing if we don't win the title, and we should have traded for. He said we don't win the title, we should have traded for Giannis.
That's a dumbass comment.
It's stupid.
And I'll tell you why it's a dumbass comment.
That's a hindsight.
Because unless the Brooklyn Nets do something hyper explosive with what they did, we already won the trade.
Yeah. Well, they said that those picks are going to be like somewhere around like 18 or 19, somewhere down there. So,
and you know as well as I do, 18 and 19 in the NBA don't hit the same as in the NFL. Or even in Major League Baseball, for that matter.
Right, 18, 19 in the NFL, you said, man, all right, what are we going to do with this one? In the NBA,
top 20 player in the country. It's not the same thing in the NBA.
That's like a third round.
Unless if it's a blue chipper out of Duke or somebody, that's a that's a piece that you got to cultivate and you got to
That's
grow
like
up with.
that's like a third rounder or very low second in the NFL.
Indeed,
It
that's a good.
might break,
Yeah,
it may not. It might, we don't know. So I think we're good. But to say that statement, that's like a hindsight. Like, man, I think we should have got. If we don't, we should. No, I think what we have, we don't need Giannis, because if you put Giannis off the court, take him on, put him on. Who do you take off the court? Okay, we need Mitch. Okay, you could trade with Mitch, but you
this team got where they are because of the characters that they have. This
right,
team, outside of small fine tuning, and I mean small fine tuning, like towards your deep bench, this
yeah.
team has what it needs. Whether they win the finals or not,
Mhm.
this team is exactly capable, exactly what they need to be to raise a banner. Will they? Hey, I don't know. It is a tough task, but I will say this.
Mhm.
This is the most legitimate the Knicks have been since 1993, when they were up 2-0 against the legendary Chicago Bulls, who ultimately ended the season with a three-peat in Phoenix.
Yeah, Roland was speaking on Mitchell Robinson. Yeah, we heard. Yeah, he wanted to get his head straight, man. Because I follow Mitchell Robinson's page, and he
Mitch
had
is a
said
good
before.
dude.
Yeah, he had said like a week ago. I remember. I can't remember. It might have been a week, a few days ago. He said, he's going to leave his page, just get his head straight. Da 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 da. And we was like, yeah. He said, we was telling us like the internet, social media is a bad place, and
It
people
could
just
be. And, I tell people often, if I didn't have this show, I might not have social media.
yeah, because people use it for maliciousness. Like you got the guys who they'll say something to you on Facebook or whatever, but damn well they won't say it to your face. They don't,
Absolutely.
yeah. Because same here. If it wasn't for the show and me doing my music, I'd probably delete my page.
No question, bro. And by
Yeah.
the way, on that note, shout out Jason Lerner. Yeah.
Oh yeah, shout out Jason Lerner. Yeah, I said yeah, biatch. Yeah.
Man, man. And then that's
That's
when he realized, oh, he might have been sitting down in that picture.
yeah, yeah,
Roland, I appreciate you getting in the comments.
yeah. No
Definitely
doubt.
enjoying that. And man, when I think about being a fan, I said it yesterday in a more abbreviated version
I'm
on my
just putting this
short.
on the screen. I'm putting this on the screen so I can see what he got next to him. Okay, so
No,
line.
absolutely.
I was like, is that a line he got next? But go ahead, man.
No, the reason why we're going into a lot of different places with this show in terms of the historical nature
Mhm.
is because, I emphasize fan and I emphasize the journey of a fan, because it wasn't that long ago when this team was a real laughing stock. And it wasn't a long time ago since, I myself, while I will always love my Knicks and I'm going to follow them no matter what,
Mhm.
was getting to a point where I was starting to accept that maybe I will never see this again
Right.
because of a true dysfunction. Because I think about the way the 90s teams are built. Pat Riley tried to reincorporate something that looked like a Bad Boys Atlantic in the Atlantic division, because he
Yeah.
certainly didn't have the player for player talent when he was, navigating the Showtime Lakers. I mean, if we're being honest, no knock on Pat and the boys, but that might be the least talented team Pat Riley ever coached.
Yeah. I agree.
Because if you revisit Zoe and Hardaway and Jeff Van Gundy getting the best of them, the Miami Heat and Pat Riley underachieved. Pat Riley had to come downstairs, make it right for himself, replace Stan Van Gundy, and get the ring with Shaq Wade and, oddly enough, an aging but effective Alonzo Mourning, who came back after the kidney issues.
Wait, what did you just call him?
I said
What
an
did you?
aging but effective
Oh,
Alonzo Mourning.
I thought you said. Remember Joey Buttafuoco?
Oh yeah, I sure do.
I thought you said Asian Buttafuoco.
Oh, that's funny.
Like,
That's funny. I mean, I don't know, man. Joey
Asian
kind of walked to
Buttafuoco.
his own beat.
Hey, he did box one time. Asian Buttafuoco.
Oh my. Now, the Buttafuoco part of this passed when I was making the assimilation to, while Lawrence Taylor didn't do anything morally good, it's not in the same realm of Buttafuoco or the world's greatest. Such a, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Mad TV, shouts out to them. I remember that episode. But back to the ball for a second. Here we go. Rolling Dog with another comment. I remember Pat Riley came to coach the Knicks. I guess he was okay. Jeff Van Gundy, I thought was serviceable. You're right, Richie. The thing with Van Gundy, it was a stark contrast because you go from Armani to whatever Van Gundy's style was, which I still to this day don't know. But Van Gundy, what he did learn from Riley was the grit of it. And, Thibodeau even learned under Van Gundy. So, I think the dark day where the real darkness started for the Knicks was when Coach Van Gundy resigned. And that's when I knew that the Knicks that I knew, and, as a fan, you dream about chasing down that title. And this is what back when Michael Jordan's running the show. And the reason why I brought up 93 is because in my heart, and more importantly in my brain, I believe that the New York Knicks were better than the Chicago Bulls that year. We just didn't beat them.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, but we got it this year, man. I'm confident, man.
This feels different, bro. I must admit, this feels different.
Yeah.
And I will say this: in the event it doesn't go our way, we still have an open window here.
We're young. We got the taste of it. Yeah, we're gonna be okay. But you know what? We're gonna win this. As I said, I'm putting it on record right now. It is 7:47 on the 26th of May, 2026. It's my girl Coco's birthday today. Happy birthday, Coco. But this is what I'm about to say. The Knicks are going to win the NBA Finals. The New York Giants are going to win the Super Bowl. Oh, but the Yankees are going to win the World. It's going to be New York straight through. I said it. We're going to
Well, it would be a little embarrassing if that team that plays in that oversized Costco beats us. And the Rays are a damn good team. But no, that's they. And the only time we've ever played them in the postseason was the pandemic season, and they did get us. I actually hope we play them because that's just a short drive for me.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
But as always, a good show, man. This was a good show, as always.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, July. They're going to be here in July again, so we'll figure that out. But good show again. Again, my final for tonight: Oklahoma City Thunder 121, San Antonio Spurs 106.
Yeah, I'm sticking to mine 118, 114. The Spurs in 6, baby. Playing the Knicks.
Now, I'm super unbiased. I call it down the middle, but I'm rooting for the Spurs. That's the irony of it. I'm picking the Thunder, but I'm rooting for the Spurs.
I'm rooting for the Spurs. I'm picking the Spurs because I think the Thunder overrated. The Flopticons are not going to be flopping in the NBA Finals this year.
And how mad are Seattle Supersonics fans seeing this newfound success that their former organization has? Roland agrees with you, Idris. He's got Spurs in 6 as well. Mm-hmm. But get my shout outs going before we get out of here. I second his emotion. Happy birthday, Coco, my sister. God bless you. Happy birthday.
Bang, bang.
I also want to hit on this man, Idris Salam. Make sure to check out Big Bosco Productions on Bandcamp. That's BAND, camp.com. And you can find all of his music there, ranging from the dirtiest rap album ever made and Old Man Energy's Volume 1 and 2. We have a jazz album as well as a boom bap era hip hop album. Also want to give a shout out to the guys at the Basement Show with Johnny Nass, one of our good friends. Also make it a point to check out the Sneaky D podcast. It's called Make It Count. And our friends at the Casual Convo Show, where the birthday girl will be every Monday and Wednesday, 8 to 10 p.m.
Yep.
Any final thoughts, Idris?
Yeah. I don't care who the Knicks are going to play in the NBA Finals. Knicks in 6, baby. Big Knick energy.
Got a ring to it. I'll tell you the most ridiculous thing, and you already know about it. with
Mhm.
the mysterious superstitions of me, the host. The Knicks are undefeated since this pin has been in my crop, and I refuse to wear tennis shoes until the playoffs are over.
Wait, well, hold up. Say that again.
The pin in my Crocs, the New York Knicks pin in my Crocs. Since
Yeah.
putting that thing in my Crocs, the New York Knicks are 11-0. And I'm
Oh, my
looking at
bad.
it. Yo, I got this one neighbor that I don't really have a big
Yeah.
liking for. He a
Yeah.
Cleveland fan. So I just looked there and raised my voice.
You know what I thought you said? I got this one pain in my crotch. I was like, damn, Richie, that shit don't hurt.
I need that. No. Nah, bro. Not me, dude.
Like, golly, homie. Dang, that's gotta hurt. But yeah, keep wearing it, dude. Knicks in 6.
Yeah. 11-0. 11-0 since locating that thing and dropping it in the Crocs.
If we sweep the next team in the NBA Finals,
This is how I look at it.
yeah,
Whoever we're playing,
Mhm.
it ain't Will Chamberlain and it ain't Jerry West, so we got a shot.
yeah. If we sweep the next round, Richie in the championship, if we sweep,
Yeah, it's exciting, man. I hope we did a good job of explaining some of the journey getting to this point and some of the dark times as well. It wasn't all sunshines and rainbows, that's for sure. But until next time,
Yep.
he is Idris. I am Richie. If you haven't already, please make it a point to like and subscribe to the channel, the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast on YouTube. Also, check out Talk of New York, where a lot of our content also airs out. They're on Facebook. And if you need to get your Yankees fix, Yankees Daily on Facebook, over 100,000 members. We out.
Peace.
Big Nick energy, we ain't playing nice. Kings of New York, ain't no rolling dice. Flexing on these bitches, we the real deal. Ain't no stopping us, this is how we feel. The Bronx, Manhattan, Brooklyn, the island of Queens, we ballin' hard. Fulfilling all our dreams, thugging through the hustle. Got that grit and grind in this Big Nick energy, we forever shine. So let them know we rockin'. From the garden to the booth, Knicks in the building, bringing straight up truth. With our heads held high, watch us rise and transcend. Big Nick energy, this is just the beginning. Big Nick energy.